Thanks for tuning in to That's What I Call Marketing, the Cannes Sessions. Brought to you by Friedman International, the international campaign experts taking the pain out of your multi-market campaigns. Welcome to That's What I Call Marketing, the Cannes Sessions. Delighted to be here with you on day 3 to take you through what went on at Cannes Line today. And of course, delighted that we are being supported by Friedman International for the Cannes Sessions. So thank you to them so much for their support. As you can see, today's t-shirt is inspired by Red Bull. That's what I call marketing gives you wings. It's never going to stick, is it? So listen, so much to get through today. I got to see the work, which is amazing. I'll take you through some of that. I was in the judging area where the judges were able to, in a press conference, talk us through what they loved about the award-winning work. I got to speak to Jimmi McGrath from Droga5. He was part of that judging. I'll take you through some of the Irish winners, a couple of Vox Pops that I captured along the way, and also some excerpts from Hyundai, who have won a Grand Prix here at Line from South Korea. So amazing amount to get through today. So let's get right into it. So behind me here, if you're watching, you'll be able to see this is the press area where the judges announce the winners. So there's a couple of press conferences every morning where the judges talk through the judging process, talk through the winners of the Cannes Line from the Grand Prix throughout, kind of helping us understand what it was about the award entries that stood out for them. It's really, really great to hear directly from the judges and get their expertise. I think if you're thinking about entering awards, it is a great way to hear how you can go about, I guess, appealing to the judges and what they're looking for. I did hear from somebody yesterday who had previously won a Gold Line and heard from the judges that they just left out a key piece of information which probably would have got them to a Grand Prix level. So I think that's really interesting, just understanding that, because we enter awards and sometimes we're not really sure what it is they're looking for. And I know with Cannes Line, they really do help people think about what it is the judges are looking for. So we'll bring you the winners at the end of today's episode. So today is Creative B2B Line winners. So obviously something that I'm really, really interested in. So looking forward to see who wins there.
As a jury, marketing the 10th year of Creative Data Lions, I will say we took that seriously. We knew this was more than just a milestone. It was a moment to set a new standard. We approached our task with clear and deliberate criteria. Above all, we were looking for work that moved both people and business in measurable ways. Impact was non-negotiable for this jury. Every entry was examined with the rigor that modern creativity and modern business expect us to deliver on today. Did it solve a real problem? Did it do it in a way that was truly innovative? Did it meet and exceed its objectives? And did it transform rather than simply inform? For us, transformation was not a bonus. It was the expectation. With so much data at our fingertips today, we sought work that pushed boundaries, delivered fresh and inspiring solutions, and proved that data can be a true catalyst today in creativity. Unexpected surprises for our team. It stood out in the jury room pretty clearly to us all. First, we saw brands using marketing metrics, but not to do it in a traditional way. They were about solving real consumer problems. It was about solutions. They shifted from messaging to meaningful ways to inspire, act, and solve problems. Second, AI was featured in about 60 to 70% of the entries. But what surprised us the most, I think, is how our criteria shifted the conversation and the evaluation of the work. AI alone did not elevate the work. Presence of AI was not enough. We held every entry to a high bar, asking, did AI serve as the genuine idea? Was it an enabler? If you removed AI, could the idea still stand on its own? And if it didn't make the cut. We looked for ideas where data was not just an accessory or a proof point, but the very engine powering the creative idea, the thread through the entire story. In a world filled with marketing buzzwords, tech speak, and AI jargon, and a lot of grand promises and results, we searched for clarity and simplicity. We looked for work where genuine insight flowed through the entire idea, from the data to the impact, and reached beyond a single campaign. And always, at the end of the day, we returned to humanity. We asked, is it rooted in a real human truth? Is it joyful? Is it truly emotional? The most powerful work we saw took what was complex and made it moving. It made it meaningful. It solved problems others had not yet recognized without data to enlighten everyone. And it did so at scale, with integrity and lasting value for people, brands, and business.
And a nod to our Brazilian friends, win yet again.
We got the brief, Phil. Are you envious? We committed to you not only bringing back work to your clients, but for you to bring back work to your CEO, your CFO, your CTO. Creativity can absolutely, at its best, drive business. And I think we put this Grand Prix way at the top. It was a unanimous vote in the room, and we loved it. The impact was undeniable. It was real. We felt inspired, challenged, and even a little envious as a team. The work was bold and apologetic. They refused to play it safe. And it leveraged data not just to sound smart, not just to validate something, not to back into the idea. It came from something that was overlooked and under-leveraged, and it was truly courageous to take that step. It refined for us what customer centricity is for brands and business today. From push messaging to a general partnership. And at its best, we believe creative data reminds us that data and creativity are not separate things. They are critical to move us forward in the future. They don't just drive results, they shift behaviors, they reshape relationships between brands and people. They leave a mark on culture, commerce, society, and most of all, people. And that's what we're here to do.
Gorgeous.
Well, I grabbed Jimmi McGrath and kind of by chance, the award entry that I have just seen and talked about, the Data B2B line, was actually what you were judging, and an amazing winner. Can you tell me a bit about the process? You said there was a lot of entries to get through.
Yeah, so I think the process itself was, it was long. I think in total what we would have had to look at was 360 different entries. And I think in the category, you're looking at the work in terms of the creativity of the work, but also you're sort of diving into the data and get a full understanding of the use of the data. So where did this come from? What data sources were used? And I think what we did see over the course of the different entries, there was so much different types of data used. But I think in our winner, I think the data that was used in that one in particular is what made it stand out.
And it was an amazing. I was saying to you inside that it was kind of, when they played the video, I was goosebumps, because it was impactful, meaningful, all the right things. But I said to you, not kind of just like purposefully-ness, do you know what I mean? It was a win-win-win.
Yeah, I think that's the thing I found quite interesting, is a lot of the entries, the standard of the videos is incredible. You can see the time and effort and production qualities that a lot of people put into the videos, but you sort of need to put that aside and get into the detail of what was the idea, what was the strategy they came up with, how did they use data for the creativity, and in particular, what were the results. And I think for us with this winner, that's why that stood out. It sort of ticked all the boxes for us in that, which why it was such a standout moment. And yeah, I think we all saw the video and felt, oh my God, that is incredibly emotive and incredibly powerful. But I think the other thing we all felt was, this is such a simple idea. This is such a clever idea. How has no one thought of this before? So yeah, it was a standout.
And actually something that's really, I guess scalable there. I don't believe they're global, the brand that did it, but like any brand could take this on and be inspired by it and actually do some good in the world and good for their brand.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think what this work has done is it worked incredibly well for the consumer, it worked incredibly well for the brand, and it also works incredibly well for the environment. The whole idea here is that about 60% of Brazilians cannot afford to replace their appliances. So what Consol did is they stepped in. So the appliances that they have on average are 25 years old, incredibly energy inefficient. So what Consol do is they come in, they replace all of those appliances for free. And what will happen is those consumers will see their bills come down because the new products are more energy efficient. And then Consol would take the savings that they were making every month on their bills and using that to repay for the products. So over about 2 years, I think is what they said, over 2 years of doing it, they would have repaid the money and then take full ownership of the product. So in a way, it's sort of an incredibly creative way of pricing and a creative way to do business strategy. So I think, it was standout for sure.
Yeah, no, it was really, really amazing. What else kind of popped in there?
Yeah, there was loads. I think one of the comments we made was there was quite a lot of work in from Brazil in this category as well. And I think what they were brilliantly skilled in doing is taking, their business problem, a societal problem, and bringing them together in a way that didn't feel it was purpose for the sake of purpose.
Yeah.
And I think there's this craft and a skill in doing that between an agency and a client. So I think that the overall winner did that. The other work that pushed this really close was for IKEA in Portugal. So IKEA basically came out with a statement around the perception of the brand in Portugal was not good.
Right.
I mean, very much everyone felt this is not furniture that's going to last. So that was the problem. No one was buying it because they felt there was no durability in the furniture. So what IKEA did to tackle that was they sort of went back into the brand and the product, and in every IKEA product there is a tag on the product, and on that tag there's a figure which is actually the date that the product was built.
Okay.
And they did a social campaign which was very much, we want to find the oldest piece of IKEA furniture that exists in Portugal. Go check your tags, send it in, and whoever had the oldest was the overall winner of the competition. So obviously a lot of people in Portugal got behind the idea, started taking snaps of their tags with their date on it, and the oldest piece of furniture went back to, I think they found one from 1969.
Oh, wow.
A bedside table, I think is what it was. And it was just a really clever way to go look back into our product, something that is already there with the data in it, and open the doors for a social campaign where loads of people were sending in theirs. And I actually thought what was quite interesting about this was the prize for the overall winner was like €2,000 voucher to use in IKEA. So it wasn't over
like
the top.
a whole house of furniture.
Not at all. It was €2,000, but everyone got behind it. And then what it showed them from a social point of view is everyone was sending in, and the proof was there then for people that had this perception of IKEA. Look at all these products from the 80s, 70s and 60s. I thought it was incredibly clever. And one sort of additional piece that was in this campaign was that people who were then selling on their IKEA furniture were quoting the date it was made as well. So they kind of turned it around for second-hand furniture as well and used that as a selling point, which I thought was really clever.
That's so cool. What a way of shifting perceptions. But listen, Jimmy, thanks a million. Great to catch you again this year. Different conditions this year. You know what I said to someone yesterday? I can't meet anyone on the Friday morning. It's just unfair. But you've been locked in a jury.
It was unfair. Yeah.
You've been locked in jury room, so hopefully you get to enjoy a bit more of the week.
That's the plan.
Thanks a million.
Cheers, Connor.
So we're down here in the basement, and this is where all the work is exhibited. They have MacBooks, desktop set up, they have audio stations, they have all the out-of-home work, they have the design boards all laid out. So it's a really wonderful place to come down and get inspired. So I'm going to take a look around and I will let you know what I see. So last year, Magnum won big at Cannes, and this year we see Cornetto have done great in the outdoor section. Mullen Low from Madrid with wonderful Cornetto wrapper advertising. So it's a distinctive asset they have with the Cornetto wrapper, and wonderful work there. And what's great about this is it could work in any market, so love seeing that. You probably recall the Burger King arrived at ads that were done by BBH in London. Well, they have won silver here at Cannes Line. Great work again by BBH London. The campaign against living miserably, wonderful organisation, CAM, really distinctive actually in their space, and they did a campaign with ITV Television, and it was done by Adam and Eve, DDB in London. They've won gold for the 6,929 balloons, one for every child lost to suicide. So that's a wonderful campaign. We were talking about this on the Cannes Line daily wrap up, I think on the first day, and it was Apple's the world's first end-to-end hearing health experience, and it's won a gold here, and it's how test your hearing with AirPods Pro 2. Apple AirPods Pro 2 redefines hearing loss and makes human connection. Lots of people know that campaign, a wonderful campaign, winning in the design category. So much amazing work to see down here, and I'll come back down hopefully tomorrow at some stage to see some of the other winners that have been announced, but give you a sense of the work. And of course I would highly recommend people just even Google some of these campaigns and check them out, because it is inspiring to see particularly some of the just simplicity that works in advertising. And I know that is hard to get to sometimes. We all face that challenge, but really great and inspiring to see the work. And I will come back again tomorrow and share some more.
I was on the plane when Jung A found out. And it's like 20 hours flight total. I was really tired, but when I heard the news, I was completely refreshed.
I mean, was it something you guys have been thinking about for a while? Was it a late night dream? Do walk us through that.
Yeah. So the first thing I did, I gave a call Jung A and her team. So I was very confident that Innocean would be on board. They've always been a true partner. Sharing our challenges, ambitions, we're on the same boat. So speaking of the brief, our brief was very simple. Take the Ioniq 5 and create something that people would seek, but not an ad, but a content that was worth watching. So
Yeah, that's incredible. Jung A, this is amazing, the trust between that brand and the agency. It's so great that you guys can enjoy that, but it's also kind of terrifying at the same time. Could you tell us, be honest with us about that?
It's not easy to be honest with the cool client sitting right next to you. It's been 20 years since Innocean started working with Hyundai. But honestly, this brief was one of the most, I think, not one, the most exciting, inspiring that I've ever had. So I remember it was 3 years ago. I worked this wildlife meeting. Look, the car's got 7 cameras. 7. That's overkill. So what if we make something really, really different? Actually, people want to watch. Let's make something normal scale, just using these 7 cameras. You know? Instead, we're not gonna hear the sound or the name of ironing. Not even once. Crazy, huh?
Obviously, when it comes to, campaign, it's so important for us to launch new models and, promote them to increase sales. It's our job. But, that's not always our main goal. Ioniq 5 is an icon for Hyundai, and it's our brand halo. So what's first vehicle to mark Hyundai's shift toward electrification. So in this era of EV chasm, I think it was the right moment to bring the Ioniq brand, back into the spotlight.
Yeah,
really good decision.
that makes a lot of sense. And I know everybody in the audience has been waiting for this moment to see how do you use 7 car cameras to actually make a beautiful film. And Jung A, can you walk us through that? Everybody's holding their breath about this.
Of course. Let's take a look at it. This one is a little bit heavy, so what you're looking at here is actually the die-cast model of the Ioniq 5 for night vision. So take a look. So you see all these marks on the vehicle. The Ioniq you drive around has 7 built-in cameras, one in the front, and one on each side, and one in the rear, and on the side. They're pretty high quality, but they're not beautiful close-ups or cinematic wide shots or like high-speed shots like your iPhone. So they're meant for safety, not to win Oscars. Just fixed, functional, civilian style. No tilting, no panning, no zooming. But I already told confidently my client. I told client, yeah, we can do it. So someone is not really panicking inside. I was worried about the one thing all the time. But hey, limits don't have to limit spark inspiration, right?
That is so true. I mean, what a bold undertaking. Yeah. I mean, it is. It's truly fantastic. And what is super fascinating to me about this is that you have directors who are used to shooting, their way and with their cameras in the mode that they're used to. Tell us about the collaboration with the director. They're not car guys, right? And they have to shoot with the camera. Tell us how that collaboration went.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, we met with the director Moon Byung-gun. He's the winner of the Cannes Film Festival Grand Prix for short film. We spent months finding a story. So we went through so many ideas. Lonely Like Outsider, Fall in Love, or Mystery of Late Night Chasing, or Murder Mystery with a Single Witness. And so many ideas. I think it's over 100 or something. So we need this because we need a story that will turn the fixed camera angle into its charm. So it's not an easy one. So that's how Night Vision was born.
That's fantastic. Audience, the full film is just about 13 minutes long, and while I would love to take our time here and have you see it, you're all going to promise me to go and watch it at another time. Since we're not going to show the whole film here today, maybe you can just tell us a little more about the storyline.
Yeah, I can tell everything because it's only 13 minutes. An alien crash landed in a village, and he injured from a snare. It survives by stealing electricity from an EV charging station. So stranded Bit starts in the village, and so a secret fantasy agent is called in. Actually, he's a very famous actor in Korea. These are the director's sketches. I borrowed it without any asking. For the secret agent, his gadgets are so old-fashioned. He uses a battery-powered lure for fishing. He waits for the bite, and then he wrestles with a big catch. But even with this great setup, we still had a question. Can we actually really tell a story using these 3 and 7 cameras? So the answer is very simple. Few months of pre-test, rewrite, more pre-test, more fixes, pre-test. It was really killing me. But anyhow, we made a movie.
So I've been trying to catch up with a few people along with the Digital Voice here at Cannes to hear about their experiences during the festival. And first up, we have Hannah Dempsey, who is VP of Marketing at the wonderful Jellyfish.
Hi, I'm Hannah Dempsey, VP of Marketing at Jellyfish. Yeah, we're really fortunate to be part of the Brand Tech Group. So we have this lovely beach space, which you can see here. So we're able to invite our clients, partners, prospects here for meetings. But actually anybody can come down and kind of register and kind of cool off and enjoy our beach space as well. So we've been hosting some meetings, partner sessions, not just for Jellyfish, but the wider Brand Tech Group companies as well. We've got on Thursday we've got Joe Wallace is doing her Good Girls Eat Breakfast Summit here in the morning. So it's busy. Hot Tech, I attended quite a lot of sessions around inclusivity, DEIB. I went to some amazing sessions at the Empower Cafe with Adele Lewis-Bridgman. Another one with Laurie Meakin. I think especially now, where we are kind of, with everything going on in the world, especially around DEI, I think that having those conversations are really important. And I think it would be nice it was obviously great that I could attend those sessions, being part of the Fringe event. What I'd love to see is thinking about some of those sessions in the Palais next year. But I know they are, there's a couple of things they put in, the safe zones and things like that for women. But actually, I think we're talking about festival creativity. They shouldn't just be Fringe events. They should be part of the main session. Another thing that surprised me is that it's June, which is known as Pride Month. And I have seen very little acknowledgement around here that it's Pride. And actually, a lot of people tell me that in previous years, there's been more openly about Pride. And I'm just not seeing it, which that has surprised me quite a lot. I thought there'd be more Pride events here. Yeah, it's funny. You talk to people who are in the creative camp, and they're like, Cannes, the Palais is for the festival of creativity, and then the Fringe along here is, all the, it's platforms, it's partners, it's tech platforms. You see, and I think they're kind of coexisting, together. And I think almost we need to start bringing them together. We talk about it with clients all the time. The merging of kind of creativity and media and how that makes it stronger together. That's what Jellyfish does with its clients. And actually, I think there's a real space for us now to potentially look at Cannes and think, actually, how do we bring the tech, the media into the Palais and then bring creativity out to here so it kind of flows a bit more.
Of course, earlier on you heard from Jimmi McGrath and the jury room for the Data Line Award winner. So incredible to hear that story. But of course, there were other winners today, and great news. I made good luck, I think, when I wished the Irish well today. We had some winners from Ireland. Yes, we had 26th Minute from Dublin Samaritans and Droga5, who won a silver line. Congratulations. And again, the gang at Heineken are at it. Heineken and Publicis won a silver and bronze in media. So great to see that. And great to see that the export cold call back from Special New Zealand. You might remember I spoke to Rory Gallery about that. That's the campaign with Vanilla Ice. We talked about that, and they have won a bronze line in PR. No B2B lines for the Irish. So come on, I think we can do it, guys. We have lots of tech companies around, lots of B2B marketing. And I think we can be here next year with some wins. Well, that is it for the Cannes sessions today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you've enjoyed getting insight into what is happening here at Cannes, including all the conversations in the background here. It is incredibly loud. It's just two people. But I really appreciate you tuning in. If you can, rate, review, like, share, I would really, really appreciate it. So until tomorrow from the Cannes Line of Festival Creativity, with thanks to Friedman International. For me, your host, Conor Byrne, take care. Thanks for tuning in to That's What I Call Marketing, the Cannes sessions. Brought to you by Friedman International, the international campaign experts taking the pain out of your multi-market campaigns.